Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Michigan Speaker of the House Matt Hall speaks on the efforts of UP lawmakers to secure funding for rural communities. Plus, we'll hear more from the former state representative Beau Lefebvre as he enters the campaign to replace State Senator Ed McBroom. And we speak with United Way of Marquette County to hear how the government shutdown could affect those benefiting from programs like SNAP. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Welcome in. A first look at your forecast. It's the week of Halloween, so everyone is getting ready, whether you're going to be sitting out and giving out candy or just leaving that candy bucket outside. We will get to all that good stuff, but low temperatures for tonight, getting to close to freezing down towards Iron River and Iron Mountain, mostly into the mid-30s, still seeing some 40s hanging out there. For your Tuesday, we'll have a mix of sun and clouds, mostly sunny by the time we get to about dinner time, and seasonal temperatures into the mid-50s. We'll have an update on your Halloween forecast and a look at Hurricane Melissa coming up shortly.
Kelly, thank you. Lawmakers in Lansing say rural Michigan is getting some long-awaited attention in this year's state budget. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy sat down with House Speaker Matt Hall, who says UP representatives are making sure their communities aren't left behind.
When it comes to prioritizing the Upper Peninsula in the state budget, Speaker Matt Hall says the UP lawmakers are strong advocates.
Things that had not been, that had been neglected for a long time, and these guys fought really hard for them. So I was happy to see that, and I was happy to help them.
Hall says Republicans cut $800 million from the state budget by targeting what he calls waste, fraud, and abuse, redirecting those dollars to local road projects.
We've got some roads up here in the Upper Peninsula that haven't been touched in decades. We need to fix them.
With the budget done, Hall says the GOP's transparency plan will force lawmakers to justify every spending project in advance.
Democrats are addicted to pork. We cut it to $160 million. That's an 87% cut, and we're forcing them to disclose.
Hall says he already knows what priority to address next, emphasizing the state's economic development strategy needs change. He says the flaws in the current system are on display following the cancellation of the Goshen Battery Plant project.
It's long overdue that Governor Whitmer just throw in the towel and cancel this deal.
The speaker says he's also prepared to push back against clean energy targets that would eliminate recently built natural gas generators in the UP.
We should make all these Democrats live in the Upper Peninsula, and maybe they would think differently about the RICE generators. People tell me it's impossible to do the wind and solar and to power the Upper Peninsula.
Hall says his focus now is on improving education, infrastructure, and energy reliability while making sure rural Michigan has a seat at the table. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Another Uper has put his hat in the ring to run for the 38th State Senate District. Republican Beau Lefebvre of Kingsford announced his campaign last week. WZMQ's Andrew Hans has more.
After representing Michigan's 108th State House District from 2017 to 2022, Beau Lefebvre is seeking to replace Senator Ed McBroom in the 38th State Senate District, hoping to use his experience in the Capitol.
Served 6 years, which was an honor and a privilege of a lifetime. There's a lot of pitfalls to be found in Lansing, a lot of backstabbing and people that'll tell you one thing to your face and then go and tell somebody else a different thing. And, that's different than the way it is up in the UP. But I learned it the hard way.
Born and raised in Kingsford, Lefebvre recently passed the bar exam and will be sworn in as an attorney at the Dickinson County Courthouse this Friday. In the run for state senate, he looks to increase access to firearms in the Upper Peninsula, lower insurance and electricity costs, and make businesses easier to build up.
I want to get rid of the pistol-free zones. We obviously need to lower the cost of car insurance prices. Our electricity prices are far too high. And I want to cut red tape, making it impossible to start a business.
With a strong desire to stick alongside his policy, Lefebvre says that working with both sides at the state level will be best for the Upper Peninsula.
I am inflexible, you may call it, on principled issues. But I can also understand that a good deal is better than no deal at all sometimes. So more than willing to work on both sides of the aisle to get good results for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Lefebvre is now the fourth running candidate for the 38th District, next to Republicans Dave Preston and Chris Reynolds and Democrat Kelly Van Ginhoven. Andrew Hans, WZMQ 19 News.
The ongoing federal government shutdown is now hitting close to home. Thousands of Michigan families could soon lose access to critical food assistance. Our John Truitt explains how this may impact people in Marquette County.
Due to the federal government shutdown, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says all SNAP benefits will be paused as of November 1st. Here in Marquette County, the impact will be felt immediately.
The food insecure population for Marquette County is about 23%. For the state of Michigan, it's less than 15.
Andrew Rickauer, director of the United Way of Marquette County, says this could turn into a crisis that affects everyone.
Can you imagine going a day without food all of a sudden and then showing up and being able to bring your A game to work? So it's going to affect every single person in Marquette County.
SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistant Program, is used at grocery stores, farmers markets, and local retailers. Experts say pausing those benefits won't just affect families. It'll also hurt the local economy as SNAP spending circulates money through the community.
The people that are serving those roles, it's quite possible they could be on SNAP benefits. So now they're not getting food. They may not be able to get to work. So those services could go away, or they definitely will be strained.
For now, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says benefits are on hold until further notice, leaving families and food banks waiting anxiously for federal funding to resume.
These are our friends and neighbors, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you need food, you need food.
In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Local food pantries say they're preparing for a possible spike in demand next month and are urging community members to donate if they can. Turning to more of the national side of things, tens of millions of Americans rely on SNAP food benefits, with those benefits being set to shut off on Saturday, worrying communities across the nation. Olivia Rinaldi has more.
Across the nation, communities are bracing for November 1st, the date the federal government says SNAP benefits, which provide food assistance to 40 million Americans, will be cut off as a result of the shutdown. Democratic lawmakers say the federal government could continue to provide SNAP benefits, but is opting not to.
They found $20 billion to send to the country of Argentina. We've got people saying, I don't know how I'm going to make it.
Republicans insist it's up to Democrats to reopen the government.
And we have voted many times, over a dozen times, collectively 13 times, to reopen the government, to keep it open and reopen it once the Democrats closed it.
Food pantries are doing what they can to help, but those who rely on SNAP benefits are worried.
You know, I'm just one person, but what's going to happen with a family that has 2 or 3, 4 children, whatever? What are they going to do?
Furloughed federal workers are also seeking assistance. Many lined up on Monday at a food stand in Washington, D.C. after missing their first full paychecks Friday.
In the Senate, there are no signs of a breakthrough. Democrats continue to hold out for an extension to those health care subsidies, and Republicans refuse to budge.
On Monday, the Senate chaplain offered pointed remarks to lawmakers.
Lord, remind our lawmakers that no gold medals are given for breaking shutdown records.
The shutdown continues to impact travel, with the FAA saying staffing shortages led to major flight delays over the weekend.
Vice President Vance is expected to attend the Senate Republican conference tomorrow. One source says lawmakers are considering focusing on narrower bills this week, including measures to pay air traffic controllers and/or military members. Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, we'll hear how cruise ship season went for the people of Escanaba. And with the ongoing government shutdown, some national park officials are calling for them to be closed until the government reopens. We're back in 2 minutes.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back. We're going to start things off with the numbers for today. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. Just to note that it was a fairly seasonal day. No rain here. So in terms of being seasonal and fall-like, we did exactly that for today with plenty of sunshine. And we'll continue with most of that for tomorrow. The only thing that changes is we might have a few clouds here and there, but still going to be a great day to try to get out and enjoy as much as you can. Maybe just take a quick walk as long as you have the layers if it's a little chilly and breezy. But Tuesday, tomorrow as a whole looking beautiful. Still carrying on for Wednesday. We're not really going to see an indication of any rain here once we get closer to Halloween, unfortunately, but we can't control the weather. I'm just here to update you on what we are looking at. So that's the case here. Future rain really not going to show anything. There might be a rain drop up to Houghton for Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday morning an extra drop or two. You know how it goes living next to bodies of water, but really things will stay dry until we get to Friday. This is our next best chance of rain, so it might be a bit breezy, windy and cloudy for your Halloween outlook. So from about 6 to 8 o'clock, temperatures will be around the lower 40s for the Marquette area. So not a bad idea to incorporate some sort of jacket or a windbreaker, at least just cover your skin for those Halloween costumes, because we want to be able to collect all the candy be safely. Also something to look forward to for this weekend, Saturday night into Sunday morning. This is when we will gain an hour of sleep, fall back, spring forward, so we're falling back. Also a nice reminder to test those smoke alarms. The new sunrise and sunset times will be 7:33 in the morning and 5:32 p.m. once we hit daylight saving time. So that is a plus, at least to this weekend, first weekend of November coming up. But we're updating really quickly to Major Hurricane Melissa. This went through a rapid intensification. If you didn't know, going into the weekend, this was, I think, still a tropical storm, and we rounded off the weekend with it as a Category 4, and this morning a major Category 5. This is going to directly impact Jamaica. It doesn't really matter exactly where this is going to hit in terms of an exact city or town. It's a major hurricane that's going to be impacting a much smaller island. Hurricane watches, tropical storm watches, and warnings are in effect for most of Jamaica, the Bahamas, Cuba, Dominican Republic, and this will be an issue really for Tuesday and Wednesday, most of this week here, as the storm really won't lose too much of its strength as it moves through each land mass here. So they're going to get some pretty bad storm surge and life-threatening amounts of large destructive waves. We'll continue to update that forecast for you. That's all the way down towards Jamaica, and our hearts and thoughts are with everyone directly and indirectly impacted. So bringing it back locally here, we'll slowly cool those temperatures down as we start to track our next system for Halloween. We'll be into the mid-40s, and as we get to your first weekend of November, slightly cooler, a few more showers, but remember, you get an extra hour back of sleep.
Kelly, thank you again. The city of Escanaba just wrapped up a full season of welcoming cruise ships to its shores. Our Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons tells us what that looked like and how the visits benefit both passengers and locals.
Cruise ships docking on Little Bay de Noc have become a familiar sight for downtown Escanaba.
We had just a very, very positive experience with the Victory Cruise Lines, and I think that we met their expectations. It was not only positive for their guests, but it certainly was positive for our community as well.
Victory Cruise Line ships previously belonged to the former American Queen Voyages, which made regular trips to Escanaba in 2023. This year, after a season without frequent cruises, Victory came to town 34 times between May and October. Escanaba also had 2 visits from Pearl Seas Cruises.
This was Dan Kabasik's dream, the founder of North Shore Logistics. This is something he had in the works for a long time. We have a wonderful port that can accommodate all the needs of the cruise ships that come in.
Passengers enjoyed a full day in town, led by knowledgeable local tour guides. According to the Delta County Chamber of Commerce, Victory Cruise Lines requested an itinerary that included the local history and culture, from trips to the UP military and Webster Marble museums to local businesses.
They did a little bit of shopping downtown. They visited the Boniface Arts Center. They've had pasties, and then of course they spent time in the lighthouse. We had guests from the East Coast, from the West Coast, and everywhere in between. They've been very impressed, and we're hoping whether they come back by car or by ship that they stop and see us again.
Plans for the cruise lines to return have not been made at this time, but the success of this year leaves the chamber optimistic about the future.
You think about this little community community and what it has to offer. It makes us really proud of what this community has done and how many services they're able to provide.
Reporting in Escanaba, Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News.
Some National Park Service staff are urging for a park shutdown as the government shutdown drags on. The parks have signs up for visitors saying they remain as accessible as possible, but with reduced staffing and closed facilities, safety and vandalism concerns are already well documented. Gwen Baumgartner reports from Los Angeles.
Daredevils are seizing the moment during the government shutdown.
Never seen that before.
Attempting base jumping at Yosemite National Park. It's strictly prohibited, but with more than 60% of the Park Service furloughed, some visitors are taking advantage.
You know, the conditions are not ideal.
Ed Sturley is with the National Parks Conservation Association.
Visitors, they're seeing closed visitor centers, unsafe conditions, damage to the very places that, we promised to preserve.
Sturley points to trash and human waste left at Washington's Olympic National Park, where public bathrooms remain closed. And here, damage to a stone wall in the historic Gettysburg National Military Park. Other parks show scenes of overcrowding because many people want the parks open.
It's quite nice, honestly. I just got in last night. I haven't noticed a big difference at all.
The fall foliage makes now one of the most popular times for leaf viewing crowds. Despite that, national parks are losing money, nearly $1 million a day, because during a shutdown, there is no one to collect the entrance fees.
We're going to feel this for the national parks, not just this month, but for years to come because of this lost revenue as well.
For now, Sturley continues to push for parks to close or the government to reopen.
Still to come on your 19 News, suspects related to the daring jewel theft in Paris have been arrested. We'll have the details when we come back.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. We turn now to Paris and the first arrests after the shocking theft of priceless jewels from the Louvre Museum. French officials aren't saying if the two suspects in custody were part of the group that used a basket lift to steal the jewels more than a week ago. Holly Williams reports from outside the Louvre.
Two suspects were arrested late Saturday night, according to French media reports. One of them detained just before flying to Algeria in North Africa. Those details have not been confirmed by the prosecutor. The arrests came a week after this brazen daylight robbery, with at least 4 culprits. They used a basket lift up the Louvre's facade, broke in through a window and made off with jewellery once worn by French royalty, valued at over $100 million. The lax security has caused outrage here.
The Louvre management did a very poor job for the last 20 years, not investing in security.
Professor Alain Bauer is a French criminologist who told us those arrested are well known to the police.
The fact that they've now arrested 2 suspects, does that make it more likely that the police will be able to recover the jewels?
I'm pessimistic about the jewels. I'm optimistic about catching all the thieves.
Bauer told us the stolen treasures may have already left France. The gold and silver melted down and the gems cut into smaller, untraceable stones. The French police have a maximum of 96 hours to charge the suspects they've arrested. Meanwhile, at the Louvre, the most visited museum in the world, the scene of the heist has now become a tourist attraction in its own right.
Professor Bauer told us the police are likely offering the suspects in custody lighter sentences in return for information on the whereabouts of the stolen treasure.
There's no place like home for the holidays. The trick is getting there. As Michael George reports, fewer Americans are expected to fly this holiday season, but for those who do, there is a right time to buy that plane ticket.
If you're heading home for the holidays, you have to beat the hustle and bustle first.
I prefer to stay home and not deal with all the chaos.
This year, price pressures have some people checking their list twice. A survey from Bankrate found about 1 in 5 adults say they plan to travel by airplane or stay in a hotel or short-term rental for the upcoming holidays. That's down from 27% last year. And men, Gen Z, and parents with small children were most likely to forego flying.
It's also possible that people might be traveling differently. Like maybe they are cutting back, but they're still doing something. Maybe they're driving instead of flying or picking cheaper accommodations.
Holidays are an expensive time anyway, and it's harder when you have to add on a bigger expense for the travel.
If you are planning to pack your bags and fly, take advantage of strategic timing.
Buying early isn't necessarily the best way to save money. The airlines know this, and they price accordingly.
Akhtar Zaman is CEO of the travel search engine Skiplagged. He says the best time to book Thanksgiving travel is 3 weeks ahead of time. For Christmas, that sweet spot is 2 weeks in advance.
As time gets closer, their projections might be off, and that usually leads to price dropping.
Flexibility may also keep costs in check.
You can zig when others zag. Traveling on the holiday itself is actually a real bargain.
That could help make merry while saving money.
The Marquette Symphony Orchestra is offering a special chamber concert this weekend. On Saturday at 7:30 p.m. in Reynolds Recital Hall, MSO's Brass Quintet will play a number of pieces for its Dances for Brass show, featuring music from the 20th century as well as late Renaissance pieces transcribed for brass. NMU's music department head says the program aims to showcase the many talents of the orchestra in a unique way.
Musicians in the symphony are used to seeing us in kind of that larger group, which is a very exciting setting, but it really can be fun to see musicians in a smaller setting like this because there's so much communication that goes on. And we'd love to see folks there. It should be really a fun evening.
You can find tickets for the performance on our website. A California shoemaker is keeping the art of handmade footwear alive while preserving the legacy of a legendary designer. Chris Francis inherited this massive collection of wooden foot forms made by the late Pasquale di Fabrizio. Known as the shoemaker to the stars, the Italian cobbler created custom footwear for Hollywood celebrities from the 1960s until his death in 2008. The collection has inspired Francis to keep his own glam rock collection going despite some challenges.
One time the celebrities would brag about how much they paid for a pair of shoes, and they would want something that nobody else had. Nowadays I'm finding more and more celebrities wanting shoes for free, which is just killing shoemakers like me.
Francis began designing shoes in his kitchen back in 2011. Each pair is meticulously handcrafted and can take anywhere from a few days to several months to make. George Clooney and Adam Sandler team up for a new dramedy, and John Bon Jovi is getting ready for a new tour. Gwen Baumgartner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
In A Case of Life Imitating Art, award-winning actor George Clooney portrays the role of a successful actor in his latest film.
That's like a movie where I'm playing myself.
Clooney stars alongside Adam Sandler in the upcoming dramedy as their characters reflect on their legacy and life choices.
Jay Kelly, so handsome. Look at you, you're the American dream.
While promoting the film, Clooney took time to reflect back on his own career.
Well, I went through phases where I wasn't very successful. So the one that changed my life and career was ER, and that changed everything for me.
Jay Kelly premieres in select theaters next month and on Netflix December 5th. Fans aren't just living on a prayer, they're living for the return of rock legends Bon Jovi. Presale tickets are available today for the Forever Tour. The tour will mark the first live performance for John Bon Jovi since having vocal surgery.
I didn't lose faith, but I had no idea how protracted the recovery would be.
The Forever Tour kicks off next July in New York City. Daytime game shows are fully embracing spooky season with Halloween just days away.
That's Mr. Johnson. He's very grumpy.
But Mr.
He never has candy.
But maybe this will be the year.
Let's Make a Deal will air Halloween specials on both Thursday and Friday with costumes, special guests, and haunted prizes. And all this week, The Price is Right will re-air some of their most popular Halloween episodes from years past. Episodes air on CBS and Paramount+.
Now stay tuned. Kelly Rowland has our final look at weather after this.
Welcome back. A final look at your forecast as we head into tonight and getting closer to that all-important Halloween weekend ahead. We're looking good. Things are quiet for tonight. We'll waver around the freezing mark. We won't have too much of a chance of frost, especially though into Marquette County, Dickinson, and Iron County. You have the best chance of frost for tonight, but we will get lots of sunshine. It'll burn that off fairly quickly, and temperatures will round off into the mid-50s. So slightly above average. It's still going to be a really nice fall day, so make sure you get outside and enjoy, also because it will be nice and dry dry. We're really not looking at rain here in the next 48 hours. We stay into that low range, but unfortunately the next best chance of rain at this moment, things could still change, the positioning of a system and whatnot, an amount of rain, but the next possible chance of rain is going to be for Halloween. So just plan accordingly. Don't have any white shoes or anything that might get ruined with the possibility of some showers, and the showers will likely carry into the first half of the weekend, slightly cooler temperatures, but we head into the first weekend of November, getting that hour of sleep back.
Kelly, thanks again. Finally today, a telecommunications provider made a generous donation to an Escanaba nonprofit. Spectrum presented a $2,500 check to Mission of Hope, Delta County, which distributes free shoes, backpacks, hygiene kits, and other necessities to more than 400 families at the start of each school year. The funds are a Spectrum employee community grant, and Mission of Hope was nominated by a Spectrum employee who also volunteers for the organization.
Because of Spectrum's generosity, over $15,000 in the past 6 years, they have made an impact into lives of people they will never meet. But it has been an amazing jump to help the trajectory of these kids' lives.
That is all we have for now, everyone. We'll catch you back here again tomorrow. See you then.